Yo, 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 yo. What's going on? What's popping? How we doing? How we feeling here on this late night post game edition? Atlanta versus Tampa. Let's get straight to it. Week 1 at home in the big body Benz. Division foe, division rival. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers come to the A and they escape with a victory. Tough loss, man. Tough loss. A lot to digest. It's super late, but y'all know how we do. Y'all know how we rocking. So don't anticipate I'll keep y'all on here very, very long. Just want to get my thoughts off and hear y'all thoughts on the game. There's a lot to digest, a lot to discuss with this game. There's a good bit of blame to go around, what exactly went wrong in the game, so we'll discuss all that and whatever else ends up on the docket. Man, shout out to everybody in the chat. Also shout out to MVM 1978 says, what's good, Tidy? Disappointing loss today. Super disappointing loss, bro. Super disappointing loss. You hit it right there on point. It's a disappointing loss because it looked like at a point we was gonna win that game, and I'm sure all Falcons fans feel like that's a game that we should have won. So it's definitely disappointing. I know after the game I was really disappointed, man. I be getting so upset and just pissed off when the Falcons lose. And you would think, being a fan with this team, I would be accustomed to them losing because historically they have lost so often and lost so quite well, if I may add. So you would think I'm used to it by now, but it still pisses me off. Nonetheless, I still get pissed off. You know what I'm saying? I still get in my feelings. I be upset. It is what it is, especially a game as in today. But shout out to you, MVM 1978. Appreciate you coming in. Got my guy Cool C is in the building, repping that 770. Shout out to the whole 770 in here. 770 is in the building. Cool C, I appreciate you coming in as usual, bro. Hope you had a good Sunday. Outside of our team not being able to finish the deal today, hope you had a real good Sunday. Shout out to everybody coming through in the chat. King Atlanta supporters in the building since that game was a marathon. Shout out to you, King Atlanta. We got our guy TG is in his house. What's happening with the TG? Jonathan Rozier is in the house. What's going on with you, Jonathan? Appreciate you coming in. He says, I'm still sick to my stomach from this loss today. Yeah, me too, bro. Me too. That was one of them games that we let get away. As them coaches say, we let that one get away. And we definitely let this one get away. We got our brother Millie Mills in the house. The damn Tidy MF was blaming Lamar for the loss, bro. I think that I'm gonna change everything in momentum with it. You know what's funny about that game, Millie Mills? I was watching that game. I might get the score wrong, but I want to say the score was like 33-19. And I was like, well, this over. I went and did something else, I just stopped watching it. And then as I was checking my phone, I saw like people like, oh man, hell of a game. I'm like, hell of a game, man. Baltimore had that game wrapped up. But looked like I crashed out on that one too early. And it seems like I missed a classic. Demetrius in the building. What's going on with you, Demetrius? Appreciate you coming in, bro. Says it's been a good minute. I caught one of your lives. Yes, sir. It has been a little minute, bro. But I'm glad you're here. Thank you for coming. Thank you for coming in. Demetrius says, yeah. And I think I gave Koo the nickname Young Money Koo. He ain't been feeling like money. Nah, he ain't been feeling like money at all lately, bro. He been feeling like a $3 bill lately. Counterfeit money. Straight counterfeit. Miller says, I think we found our quarterback one now, and he's legit. Other than that, we're gonna be all right. That's all I learned today. That's a good analysis of it, bro. And yeah, Michael Penix played well today. He played good football today. I was very, very impressed with Penix. And I'll be honest with you, Millie, I didn't think he would play poor or play bad, anything like that, but I didn't think that he would play as well as he did, especially considering with how much he was asked to do today. They asked him to do a lot today. And I want as the season progresses, I want the offense to be more balanced. I don't want him to have to do that much, in terms of throwing the ball, running the ball. He was asked to do a lot today in his first start as our full-time starter coming out of training camp. But he shined. He shined. I was proud of him. That's I guess that's the best way I can really nail it down. I was actually proud of Penix. He did well. He made us proud outside of not as a team us losing the game. I was proud of him today. No doubt, Demetrius. I'd be disappointed, man. I'd be pissed off. Yeah, I'd be pissed. MVM says we behind in the division, been pissed all day and still mad the next day. Yeah, hey, that's what the Falcons do to you, bro. That's what they do to you. That's what these dirty birds do to you, bro. They're named correctly, dirty birds. They gonna do you dirty. Miller says cool need that 5. They said he do, bro. Man, I hate to say it, but cool wash, bro. Cool is wash. Cool wash. We probably should have took the kicking situation a lot more serious in the offseason and just went ahead and replaced him. And maybe Lenny Craig wasn't the guy to do it, but that we should have probably prioritized that a lot more than we did. DSGB Hall, what's happening? What's good, Tight? My thoughts, Penix legit, but play calling was bland. Defense is improved. Got to work on the pass rush. Got some pressure with the front four. Yep, pressure came in spurts today. You definitely seen the athleticism and the speed on defense, but we still gotta find a way to get the quarterback on the ground. Y'all correct me if I'm wrong, but I only recall 1 sack today. I hadn't pulled up the stats. Let me go ahead and pull up the stats while I'm on here because I'm sure I'm going to have to refer to them as we do this show. So let me pull these up real quick. But I think we only had 1 sack today. So definitely got to do a better job of getting the quarterback on the ground without a shadow of a doubt. DSGB also said Diablo's a stud along with Bowman and, of course, Ellis. Yes, they all flashed today. Definitely all flashed today. Pardon me if I mispronounce your name. If I do, I'm sorry. But Dan Mans, Koo missed 29 field goals in his career with the Falcons, his career high. 9 missed field goals in the 2024 season, which was his most in a single season as a Falcon. Last year should have told us everything we needed to know. And even though these don't count in your stats, Dan Mans, Koo was trash the 2024 preseason. And we wrote it off as just being preseason, but he was trash in the preseason, man. Koo ain't been the Koo that we kind of fell in love with outside of that New Orleans game when he made that long field goal last year. He ain't been that same Koo in at least 2 years, maybe 3, or 2 seasons, maybe 3. But bro, a 44-yard field goal. This would get me about it. A 44-yard field goal. Now, in the NFL, if that's not a chip shot, it's damn close to it. In the NFL, if that's not a chip shot, it's damn close to it, man. 44 yards, man. And this is the thing with that. This was I know technically our football facility is called a stadium, Mercedes-Benz Stadium. But when that roof is closed, it becomes a dome to me, Technically, that's probably not what it's called, but when the roof is closed, it's a dome to me. So he's kicking in a dome in a weather-controlled climate, and he misses it. We saw that a bunch of last year. He missed it. That's your one job, Cool. Your job is to kick. kick field goals and do the kickoff. And that's your one job, bro. We ain't asking you to catch passes. We ain't asking you to throw passes. We ain't asking you to block nobody. Sometimes you may have to tackle somebody, but if you miss a tackle, ain't nobody gonna say, "Oh, cool, missed a tackle." You feel me? And that's probably only gonna happen in his predicament, probably less than 10% of the time during the NFL season. But gotta make that, bro. You got to make that kick, bro. That's your one job. And that's why I still keep this under my name. Right there. Well, it's to my left. It probably to y'all the right watching. But right under my name, players make plays. Who was a player who didn't make the play tonight? And that's the main thing to me that separates winning and losing. Players got to make plays. Players make plays. If the kicker missing chip shot field goals, he ain't making plays. So Cool is really in my doghouse, bro. He is really, really in my doghouse because you got to make that. It's there is a significant amount of blame to go around, but got to make that field goal, big bro. Big dog, you got to hit that field goal, bro. Now, is it a guarantee that we go into overtime and win? No. But you know what? We'll never know because it didn't happen. At least you feel good going to overtime. He made the field goal. Obviously we have the momentum. We just drove down the field, kicked the field goal to send the game to overtime. We at home. There's a lot of energy in the stadium, so we feel like we got the momentum. I would have liked our chances. There's no guarantee, but he never gave us the opportunity to find out. Got our brother James in the building. How you doing tonight, James? Hope you're doing well, bro. Since Koo is not the money man, he is a penny at most. Very well said, bro. And Koo still makes some good money for a kicker. I think Koo making about $5 million a year. That's a pretty nice check for a kicker in the NFL, man. And here we go again. Starting the season off talking about Young Ho Koo, however you say his name. Disappointing. You got to make that field goal, man. And I know people can say, well, he shouldn't be in that predicament. Y'all shouldn't put him in that predicament. Why not? That's his job. His job is to kick the ball. Why he shouldn't be in that predicament? Do you know how many Super Bowls been won or lost off field goals? Why he shouldn't be in that predicament? That's his job. Everybody got a job to do, and he ain't do his. And then when he dunked in that field goal earlier, I kind of knew, like, oh Lord, here go Koo on that bull. But man, Keith Simmons in the building. What's going on with you, Keith? Appreciate you coming in, bro. Hope you're doing very, very well. Thank you very much. Demetri said we can't have Penix throwing the ball almost 40 to 50 times a game. We got to find ways to establish a run game and switch up the playbook. I could not agree with you more, Demetrius. That's why I said, based on what he was asked to do today, I think he threw the ball 42 times. Let me look at the stats real fast. I think he threw the ball 42 times. Yeah, he was 27 for 42. So he threw the ball 42 times. That's too much. That's not a balanced offense, and I don't know how much winning we can count on doing like that. So we start off the game, we go right down the field and we score a touchdown. Bijan Robinson, a 50-plus yard TD reception. And he did things that Bijan do when he caught the ball, open space, made a move, made a juke, stutter step, and he was on his way. We came out like, oh boy, we may run up the score on these cats, man. And we start sputtering on offense after that. Offense as a whole outside of Koo, let's start there. excuse me, not outside of Coop, but outside of Penix. Disappointing also as a whole. Since I just mentioned Bijan, let's talk about Bijan a little bit. I think he only had 24 yards rushing. I think Tyler had 24 yards rushing also. Penix almost was the leading rusher with 21 yards, I think Penix had. So obviously we could not run the ball. And that goes back to what we're saying here in the chat. You know, what Demetrius is saying, with him throwing the ball 40, 50 times. I'm going to take what I would like to say an educated guess and say the reason that we threw the ball so much is because we couldn't run the ball. We only averaged 2.5 yards per attempt running the ball today. 2.5 yards per attempt running the ball. That's pathetic. That's pathetic on every level of football. And we had 28 running attempts. So I'm assuming, I can't speak for Zach Robinson, but I'm assuming as the game progressed and he realized, like, we can't run the ball. We can't run the ball. We got to start throwing it. We can't run it, so we got to start throwing it. So that's where you see the 42 passing attempts from Michael Penix, because that was really the only success that we had running the ball. The very few times that we did have success on the ground got called back for like holding penalties. So I'm pretty sure that's why Penix had to do so much, because we could not establish a run. And you can attribute that to not having probably our best run blocker out there, Caleb McGarry. He was missed today, definitely in that run game. I think we'd have had more success if we'd have had our big mauler out there. Because, you know, that's what Caleb excels in. At best, he's probably an average pass blocker, but he's a damn good run blocker. And he opened up those lanes. So without him in the game today, man, we just couldn't run the ball. It was obvious we couldn't run the ball. And you had Big Vita Vale stuffing that middle, man, and it just made it hard for Atlanta to run the ball. And we have, over these last few NFL seasons, we have become a team known for being able to run the football. Great running backs, great run blocking offensive line. And then we was at home. We was at the crib. You know, we was at the crib. And we just couldn't get nothing going running the ball. And that definitely contributed to us being very unbalanced on offense. So Caleb was definitely missed out there today without a shadow of a doubt. Speaking of Caleb, let's jump into Elijah Wilkinson, because, you know, I think most of us had a lot of thoughts on how he would perform today. So this is my analysis of how I think Wilkinson played. I don't think he played good today, but at the same time, I don't think he was terrible either. You know, he did get some outside penalties. You know, he had the jitters. He had the jitters, you know, so he was jumping off sides. I think he had 2 penalties on the same drive, if I remember correctly. I think he played about as well as he could, considering the circumstances. Considering the fact that he's not the first string right tackle, he's not even the second string right tackle. He's just like an emergency quarterback. He's an emergency right tackle. So based on the situation, based on him coming to the roster, you know, later on in the process, he played about as well as we could ask, you know, because I don't think none of us expect him to come out there and just play a stellar game. We hoped he would. You know, I think he did surrender 1 sack to Reddick. If it was more than that, y'all please let me know. But I remember him surrendering 1 sack to Reddick, and Reddick just beat him. And then Chris Lindstrom jumped over to try to help him, and Chris Lindstrom ended up holding Reddick, which they didn't call, and Reddick got the sack anyway. But outside of that, man, I don't think the guy was just totally terrible. But you can see the offense definitely changed with him in the game. We would send Bijan out when Bijan was going, when we was passing the ball and Bijan was running his routes, his assignment, okay, go chip the end. Go chip that edge over there. You know, help your right tackle out, go chip it. Then they would send a tight end over there sometimes. And that has to be accounted for. You know, so let's just hope, man. The only thing we can do is let's hope. Let's hope as he gets more playing time, he gets more reps, that he'll start playing a lot better. Because you know we're gonna need him. You know, that right side is a big part of what we do, and we couldn't get anything going on the right side. We couldn't get anything going on the left side, so that leads to Michael Penix having 40 passing attempts, man. So, but going back to Bijan, it's hard to be critical of Bijan because he's just such a phenomenal talent and he does so much on the offense. But he did have some mistakes that I think were kind of costly. The toss sweep, he dropped the toss sweep and we lost 5 yards, put us in a bad down and distance, and then he had a wide open pass in the flats where it was just him and one defender, and we all know you ain't finna tackle Bijan open field. So that was a missed opportunity to get a big play because he dropped that pass. And I don't know if anybody has spoke on it, but I will, because I was sitting there watching it. But late in the game, maybe about 30 seconds left, when we threw the ball to Bijan, I think this was in the flats again, and he picked up maybe 8 to 12 yards, and it was less than 30 seconds left on our final drive. Instead of going out of bounds, he stayed in bounds trying to get more yards when it just wasn't necessary. And thankfully the booth reviewed it and they put more time on the clock. But to me, that was just like a very glaring mental mistake by Bijan Robinson. It's like, why didn't you just go out of bounds? And then I think the very next play, we threw it in the flats to Kyle Pitts and he went right out of bounds. That was a smart play. And I'm just wondering to myself, like, what is Bijan doing? Why are you not going out of bounds, dog? And I think we only had one timeout left. Why are you not going out of bounds, bro? Like, I know you, Bijan, you can make people miss, but now is not the time for that, bro. We fight against the clock. We don't need you to play hero ball. And I think that was a hero ball play. And you hear the term hero ball a lot in basketball when a guy's just trying to do everything himself and not getting his teammates involved. I think Bijan was playing hero ball in that play, man. Get out of bounds, stop the clock. You know, it was unnecessary. Totally unnecessary. But again, thankfully, the booth reviewed it and that didn't end up costing us. Well, like I say, it's difficult to be critical of Bijan because he does do a lot for this team. He had the first touchdown of the season for us on the first drive, so it's kind of hard to be critical of him. Tyler Algier, he couldn't get anything going, and you know they don't really use him to throw the ball to him at virtually ever for the very most part. Zach Robinson, definitely not his best day or his best Sunday with the play calling. That one play we were down on the goal line and you brought Bijan and Tyler in at the same time. You had Tyler lined up in what would be more of a conventional fullback blocking back position, and you had Bijan back as, I'm old school, I still call it a tailback, but halfback. And we run a lateral play on the left side of the field to Bijan. I think we might have been on like the 3 or 4 yard line, and we end up losing like a yard or two. I didn't like that play. I think we kind of I think Zach Robinson overthought the process. Well, yeah, I'll catch them off guard. I'll bring Tyler and Bijan at the same time, try to catch them off guard. But man, they had that box stacked, and like I just said, we weren't doing that on the run game against Tampa today. So I didn't like that play at all. I did not like on 3rd and 6 when we threw that screen. And if coach is watching now, boy, I know he gonna talk some shit about the screen. But we threw a screen. Who we threw that screen to? I think it was to Drake London on 3rd and 6, and it was no gain. Like, bro, throw the ball down the field. Like, why are we trying to screen at this point? Throw the ball down the field. You need 6 yards. Throw the ball down the field. I didn't like that. As far as that play calling went. And after we scored the first touchdown, when the offense kind of lost its luster on the next couple of drives, in addition to questionable play calling, we didn't execute. We had penalties. We had guys dropping the ball, and that killed some drives. So when that offense kind of went in that lull, you can attribute that to questionable play calling. You also can contribute that to just players not executing. You know, we dropping passes, we getting penalties, and it was just killing drives. And you know, we lost a lot of our momentum. So I think we end up with about 370 yards total on offense, but that offense was like up and down for the very most part of the game. You know, there was even a period during that time when Michael Penix was like 7 out of 18 throwing the ball. So even he was kind of, you know, going through his, you know, somewhat highs and lows, and there was some drops in there too. So I am going to give Penix credit on that. And Penix did pick it up, you know, later on in the second half. So I don't have nothing to say about Penix. I think Penix played very, very well. You know, I think he probably, outside of that one play by Bijan, I think he was like the only bright spot on the offense other than Kyle Pitts. Kyle Pitts gave us some real key clutch catches as well. You know, he showed up in the second half. But outside of that, man, that offense was like, oh, man. Boy, I think we definitely missed Darnell Mooney today. That's our deep threat. You know, Drake London is a very, very good young wide receiver, but, you know, Drake London ain't going to take the top off. You know, he ain't going to fool nobody as a deep threat. That's been Darnell Mooney's job and destination on this team since he's been on here since last year. So I feel like we miss his presence. You know what I mean? What else on the offensive side of the ball that I feel I need to touch on? While I do think about that, let's jump to the defensive side of the ball. I've seen a lot of talk on Twitter where the defense has been criticized for the last drive of the game or whatever. Do I think the defense played great? No, I don't. But I think they played, I would give them pretty good. I think Tampa Bay only had 260 yards of total offense. And for the very most part, Tampa Bay offense didn't really, really do much at all. Now, they made some key big plays when they needed to make them. You know, Baker put that ball where he needed to put it during certain parts of the game. And also, I got to give Baker credit. There were some key third downs where he just took that ball and ran. You know, so I do got to give him credit for that. But outside of that, man, like, Tampa's offense didn't really dominate. They didn't really establish themselves or nothing like that. Even on that last drive, I think some of the criticism of the defense on the final drive is somewhat unwarranted. Don't get me wrong. Their job is to stop the offense every time. But both sides are pros. But the Tampa players are professionals. The Falcons players are professionals. Sometimes Tampa is going to win. Sometimes Atlanta is going to win. But our special teams didn't do us no favors, you know, at all. You know, that's what we miss your boy Troy Anderson on special teams. Because he's a special team demon, so we miss your boy Troy Anderson on special teams. You know, we miss him there. But the final drive, Tampa ended up, because of a special teams play, Tampa ended up getting the ball at about their 40. So they pretty much had to go just a little bit more than half the field to score their final touchdown. They got the ball on about their 40 because of a special teams. Not only that, you had Rook get a 15-yard penalty. So theoretically, 63, 53, they only had to go a little bit over 45 yards to get that touchdown. And I think you have to put context into the situation on Tampa's final drive. Like, they pretty much had to go only about 45, 48 yards to score a touchdown due to the excellent field position they got to start the drive, and also due to that disastrous 15-yard penalty that Root got. And they end up scoring a touchdown. But all in all, man, I think the defense did pretty good all in all, because early in the game, they gave us every opportunity to jump out on top fast. They gave us the opportunity to jump out 17-0. Let's just start the game 17-0, make Tampa change their game plan on offense and have to fight to climb back in that game. But offensively, we could not capitalize on it. We couldn't capitalize on it. You know, I think the defense, they definitely played well enough, but we should have been able to escape out of there at home and get the dub. So I can't come over here and be too critical of the defense. Would I have preferred more sacks? Absolutely. Would I have preferred to see that quarterback on the ground more than he was? Absolutely. Would I have preferred some turnovers? Absolutely. You know, but all in all, man, the defense, to me, they did fairly well, man. They did fairly well. I know we were all excited to see our rookies, Jalen Walker, James Pierce Jr. They didn't really impact the game very much at all today. But that's going to come with time. That's going to come with time. I'm confident they're both going to blossom into very good or special players for us. So that'll come with time. And they both were on limited snaps. You know, it's not like preseason when we seen them playing the entire first half, or at least James Pierce Jr. I know Jalen was hurt some of the preseason, but it ain't like that when he was just playing all game. You know, they had limited snaps, and they didn't really affect the game like we wanted them to. But I think that's gonna come with time. And Diablo, the linebacker that we got in the offseason, I think he played good, man. I was impressed by him. That guy was all over the field. He was all over the field. And when y'all get time, I want y'all, if you have an opportunity, when you go back and watch the game, watch Diablo when he has a blitz assignment specifically, please. If you go back and watch the game again, which I know a lot of y'all are or will, because we all football nerds, but watch him on his blitz assignments. Him going up on his blitz assignments, he's blitzing. He's delivering hits. Even though he don't get a sack, he's affecting Baker Mayfield when he's throwing the ball. That's what I never seen from Troy Anderson. That's what I never seen from Troy. That's what I've always wanted to see from Troy. Troy got that speed and that big stature of a natural inside linebacker. But he was always so timid on his blitzes, and that used to drive me crazy. I'm like, dude, how can you be this fast and be this big, and you can't get no kind of impact when you blitzing? But go watch Diablo when he blitz. He actually calls that sack that we got. Diablo calls that sack. When he going blitz and he going up full speed and he's going there, he's going to deliver a hit and not to take a hit. That's been my problem with Troy. Troy takes hits. He don't deliver hits. Diablo goes in there to take hits. Oh, y'all think this running back gonna stop my momentum? I'm about to hit this running back in his mouth. And that's what he did today when it was time to blitz. And that's what I never seen from Troy. And that used to be some of my beef with Troy, while I would always be critical of him, you know. And y'all already know the background. You know, the Troy Anderson fanboys have always got mad at me about that, but hey, I'm calling it like I see it. What I saw from Diablo today, when he going in there to blitz, that's how I want my linebackers to blitz. Go in there and cause some fucking havoc. Don't go in there all 10 minutes scared. No, man, go in there full impact. Bam. You know, make that quarterback make a bad throw. Cause a sack. You know, cause a turnover. And that's what I was seeing from Diablo. So hopefully with more games and more times and building more chemistry with that defense, we can see a lot more from Diablo. If he continues to play like he played today, Troy Anderson ain't gonna start on this team no more. And more than likely, this will be his final year in Atlanta, you know. So that's what that is. But that was a disappointing loss today, man. Our fans catch a lot of flack. Sometimes from our own fans, sometimes from mainstream media, sometimes from other fans. But I will say this, man. There was a lot of energy in that stadium today. The Atlanta fans came and they were loud. I don't know how it sounded on TV, but in the stadium, they were loud. They were waving them towels or whatever. Was every seat filled? No. I ain't gonna sit here and lie to you. Was every seat filled? No, it wasn't. But there was a nice ass crowd in that stadium. And there was a lot of energy in that stadium. You know, people standing up. You know, people were that first week excitement. Oh, football back, the Falcons back. So, you know, people poured in there, man. And it was disappointing to lose. It was very disappointing to lose. So that's a very, very tough loss. I think we got Minnesota next week. So we're going to definitely have to come back next week. I don't want to say it's a must win, but man, you start off 0-2 in the NFL, bro. Ooh, your playoff chances go down very low. So we lost this division game. So we need to win this game in Minnesota. You know, don't go up there and let JJ McCarthy, you know, look like Tom Brady or Peyton Manning against us. Go up there and, you know, handle our business, man. You know, I see a lot of potential in this team. There's just some things we got to put together. We still got to learn how to win and close out games, and probably got to find us a field goal kicker on that as well. So let me go into these comments real quick. Keith Simmons says the last time we lost an opener to Tampa Bay, we went to the Super Bowl 2016. Coincidentally, I was at that game too. So maybe history will repeat itself, but we win the Super Bowl. I don't want to go back to the Super Bowl and lose a 25-point lead in 17 minutes. You know what I'm saying? I don't want that to happen, but I do remember that game. Jameis Winston came out. Jameis Winston was throwing that ball too. He was slinging that Tatum. He was definitely slinging that Tatum, man. So I definitely do remember that. Zigzag, what's happening, bro? Missed the field goal when they called the timeout. Insane. Yep. Thank Cool Wash, man. Cool Wash. Cool as Wash. Tone in the building. The run game was not good at all. Pathetic, dog. 2.5 yards per attempt. Michael Penix with 21 rushing yards. Damn near the leading rusher, bro. Damn near the leading rusher. Says all Dan Man says all good, bro. Appreciate the content, hard work. Hit the like button. Yes, please hit that like button for me. Thank you, Dan Man. Please do hit that like button, man. That helps Facebook. That helps YouTube put us in their algorithm, man. So yeah, that's a big favor that you can do for the channel. You just hit that like button, man. Thanks in advance. Zigzag says I'd rather lose in overtime. I was hoping if we do go into overtime, you know, we definitely would win. Speaking of coach, what's going on with coach? How you doing, bro? Says, so my brother Toddy, are you ready to say that this coaching staff is not it, or you still need more time from more trash from them? No, I'm not ready to say they're not it. And coach, I'm not ready to say they are it either. You know, as I've been saying, when I come on, I'm gonna give them fair time. You know, I'm gonna give them a fair shake, a fair chance, adequate amount of time to show they are it or they're not it. You know, I'm not saying that this is a good coaching staff and they can lead us to the playoffs or lead us to the Super Bowl or lead us to consecutive winning seasons. I just don't know yet. The jury is still out. You know, was that the best coach game from the coaching staff today? Probably not. I think defensively it was pretty good. You know, I don't know if there's any people got any beef with Raheem this week. I don't know. I don't think he mismanaged the clock. You know, this week that I can recall. I think he used his time wisely. So I mean, I think Zach is probably going to be under the microscope more than anybody. But again, I revert back to what's right under my name. Players make plays. You know, I don't think I'm never going to let the football players off the hook, because I feel like having adequate talent, adequate players, to me, in my opinion, is more important than the coaching staff. And I saw our players make a lot of mental mistakes that I've already spoken at earlier. You know, a lot of drop passes, a lot of just bonehead penalties. And do I put Rook in a roughing the passing penalty on the coaches? No, I don't. I put that on Rook. You know, just like when Vita Vea got the roughing the passing penalty on Penix. Do I put that on Todd Bowles? No, I put that on Vita Vea. So I think you can look at this game and look at the players just as much as you can look at the coach. But to answer your question, no, I'm not. You know, you make a swing back to me in about 5, 6, 7 weeks, and I probably can give you a more clear and more direct answer on that. Noah E in the building. What's up, Noah? What up? Later at light. Yeah, man. Later. Hey, Waffle House hours, bro. We in here on Waffle House hours, man. Yeah, definitely Waffle House hours tonight. I wanted to come on a little earlier, man, but I didn't get home till late, bro. And then I watched a little bit of that game, and then just went and did some more stuff for a moment. And I did want to, you know, come on and give my spiel. 82 Money Carlo, what's up? Ravens lost off a kick. I got to go back and watch that game. I definitely got to go back and watch that game. Carl Thomas in the house. Teammates let him down. I think you're speaking of Penix, and if so, I absolutely do agree with you. Noah says Penix will be a superstar in the season. So let's talk about Michael Penix. The kid played. My subconscious mind wanted to say the kid played great. He played his ass off today, man. Like I said, I was up there proud of Michael Penix, bro, because there were some plays that he made today. Excuse me, when the pocket broke down and he was under duress, I'm like, damn, he about to get sacked. And he kind of step in the pocket and juke back out, looked like he was about to fall. Like, oh, bro, don't fall. And he end up scrambling or end up completing a pass. Like, you know, it was just the excitement of watching him. And I don't want to jump out the window just yet. But in these 4 starts, I'm starting to see a little bit of that clutch in Michael Penix, man. I'm starting to see it. That final drive when we need to play, we need to score, we need to get into scoring position via a field goal attempt. He's shown that he can step up and make plays, man. That play he made on the sideline when he stretched the ball out and went out of bounds and he got the first down, that was a clutch play. That touchdown he made when he reached the ball over and his knees and ankles didn't hit the ground, so they rooted a touchdown. Man, that was a clutch play. And what I'm starting to notice from the kid, and it's just 4 games, you know, it's just 4 games. I'm not calling him the next great thing just yet, but the kid don't get rattled, man. He don't get rattled. You can just see the playmaking ability. You can see the poise in him when a big play needs to be made. You know, when it's clutch time. You know, every single sport talk about clutch time, from baseball to basketball to the NFL. When it's clutch time, Penix, he steps up. He's ready to go do it. He is ready to go do it. So I was very, very impressed by Penix, man. He put on a nice show. He was asked to throw the ball 42 times. I think he completed about 65% of his passes. Let me go to the stat box and stop trying to guess. He was 27 for 42, 298 yards. I wish he'd have got that 300. 7.1 yard per attempt. That's pretty good. 1 touchdown, no interceptions. And he had a 93.2 rating. I could take that. QBR 83.7. I definitely can take that, man. You know, I just saw a lot of good from Penix. And then, again, he had to drop passes. And that is what it is, I'm sure you talked to all 32 starting quarterbacks in the league behind closed doors. They'll also tell you what so-and-so dropped this pass, so-and-so dropped this pass, so-and-so dropped this pass, so-and-so dropped the pass. Same thing with interceptions. At the end of the day, it counts as an incompletion. At the end of the day, it counts as an interception, But I'm trying to highlight it to kind of paint the entire picture of how Mike played today. And the kid did good, man. The kid did good. When it was time to go down that field and get in scoring position, he did it. He was making plays. He didn't have in that last drive, there was no Drake London, there was no Darnell Mooney. I'm like, okay, Kyle Pitt is gonna be me and you. Bijan is gonna be me and you. Let's get it. And unfortunately, Mr. Koo just could not do his job, and that is so disappointing. He couldn't do his job. DJ Gaming in the building, man. I ain't seen you in a long time, bro. Hope you've been doing good. Says, watch the coach in pistol formation every play, call some play action and run plays on the center, buddy. This play calling was looking worse than Arthur Smith and wasn't exaggerating. I guess I'll try to throw coach a lifeline, and that going back, DJ, to a little bit of what we talked about earlier with Caleb McGarry not being in, the second string right tackle not being in, and then you got Hassan Reddick on that edge. You got, for the most part, elite edge rusher on the other side of the field. If he's not elite, he's that tier just below. But anyway, he good enough to give you a lot of problems. I think they were just trying to help Elijah Wilkinson every way they could, and whether that be in that pistol and having that tight end over there to help, or having Bijan chip, because Bijan was doing a lot of chipping today, and just that little chip is enough to kind of throw the edge rusher off his game, or put enough hesitation into what he's doing to give Mike Penix just a little more time. So I think that could have something to do with it all also. And not only that, whether we want to accept it or not, I really just think that's the offense we run, bro. Last year with Kirk Cousins, we was in pistol, a whole lot, Then when Penix came last year, they stayed in the pistol. So that just seemed like the offense that Raheem and Zach have got together and decided that they're going to run. So we're probably going to see a lot more of that. There was some play action plays today. It wasn't a lot of play action, but there was some out there. But we'll see. We'll see what kind of adjustments they make, week to week. And, hopefully the offense can be more cohesive next week as well when we play Minnesota, because I don't think that's going to be a easy game to go in there and win against Minnesota. I'm about 50 minutes in. I can't stay on here too long, but what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna drop the link, and if anybody want to come in, man, and say your piece about the game, just click the link and I'll bring you on there. We'll probably come on tomorrow, man. Probably try to have a longer show, but again, I just want to come on tonight and talk, man. That was a tough loss tonight. There was some positive from today, namely the quarterback. There's a lot we got to work on also. Definitely got to work on not having these penalties in key situations. You know what I mean? That 15-yard penalty was very, very crucial. The last drop, the last drive of the game. That was a crucial penalty. So we got a lot to work on, but I seen a lot of good from the team as well. But let's bring everybody up here. We're gonna bring in John, got James, Big Ron, Big Coach. Good evening, gentlemen. How we doing?
Frustrated beyond description.
Tell us about it, John. Go ahead.
And good evening, people. Boy. You had a makeshift offensive line out there. That's the very first thing. some of these plays that were being called run plays, these screens, I hate our screenplay. I hate them with a passion. Michael Penix sprints 5 yards to the right and then throws 30 yards back to the left. It takes the ball forever to get to the receiver. By the time he gets ball, he's swallowed up right there. Man had to come a little bit faster. That was an interception. These sweet plays down at the what was it? What were we doing last year? That doggone speed, well, whatever the hell it was. Behind an offensive line that doesn't exist, it's just frustrating. I've been hollering, yelling, cussing, fussing about getting a fullback, not a converted tight end, a fullback, a legitimate ironhead back there that you can run behind on short yardage situations, especially now that you don't have two main cogs of your offensive line right now. And Caleb McGarry, as you said, Titus, was really missed. He was really missed. I mean, and man, I'm thinking this, we are still too small on our offensive line. And see, I guess anybody would look small with Vita Vea. If you look at the play from behind, Vita Vea just swallowed up. He just swallowed up our offensive lineman. I mean, he had him bent over backwards so much, I thought he had another waist. He doing the limbo. I mean, I look at the first series that we had when we go down the field. Then, from then on, we got stuck in mud. It was just frustrating to watch. And all I could think about was, is the conversation going to go back to not playing in the preseason? See, if you continue to do what you did in that first series, you know, I could put it to rest. I could put it to rest. But the play calling by Zach Robinson left a lot on the table. And that field goal kicker situation, see, what is it saying? You only have one job. You got one job. They're gonna call on you every now and then to put us into overtime, to convert an extra point, to win the game. And when time comes up, you got to do it. Now I just watched Buffalo and Baltimore field goal kicker. I mean, now Buffalo, man, Baltimore fumbled, got themselves a chance. Field goal kicker step up, son. It's your time to shine. You can win this for us right here. If you don't make it, we lose the game. Booted it through the upright. All we needed was for Koo just to get us to overtime. And then when the game is over with, you don't want to stay around and get interviewed. You run. Okay. Okay.
Tiny.
He might have stepped off for a second. Go ahead, Ron.
To me.
Oh yeah, he stepped off.
To me, every OC in the offseason supposed to be getting better. They're supposed to be getting better. Where Zach Robinson got worse by his play calling. His play calling sucks. It sucks. Instead of going down the field, we going left and right. We're not going down the field, we going left and right.
Side to side.
Side to side. Now the defense, they just carry a team for so long, and that's what our defense did. Carry us for so long, but we cannot even get a touchdown. Zach Robinson, somebody should ask him, what you be doing in the offseason? What do you do in the offseason?
So let me first preface this by telling you guys it may be a little loud. I'm in the airport right now, but I will say this, and this is what I reference all the time, Tidy. Like, yeah, did we have players make bonehead plays? Yes, we did. That's always going to happen in sports because people are human. People fuck up. Did Koo miss a kick? Yes, he did. That's his only job. That's something that can't happen. But I'm not even mad at Koo because, like with Grady, you can see his decline, and he's been steadily declining. He has gotten worse year after year after year since, 2000, 2001, one of those. Since you gave him the bag, he's literally gotten worse each and every year, and you don't pull the trigger. That has to fall on the coach. Like, and to say he has sweat equity, emotional equity with you. Like, what the fuck kind of shit is that? Like, what do you mean? If he not doing his job, he has to go. So I'm not even mad at Koo because, hey, if you're gonna continue to play me and keep me on the field, and if I'm garbage, I'm gonna keep playing and putting out garbage. Everyone want to talk about the tackle that's missing. Does that hurt the team? Yeah, sure. But I see time and time again, other teams have hurt players in key positions, but they have OCs that scheme for that situation. So if you have an issue on the right, well, what do you think the smartest thing would be? Everything should go to the left and to the left quickly, especially when you got a left-handed quarterback. So I'm really not trying to hit that either. Like, for me, it's when you look at that game, the play calling, and I think it was either John or Toddy, you just said, I watched the entire Buffalo Ravens game, and I understand Penix ain't no Allen. I think Allen might be the best quarterback in the league right now. But I'm talking about the play calling, looking at the plays. Every other team except the Falcons find ways to scheme their best players open. And it's just so baffling to me that week in, week out, year in, year out, since 2008, we haven't had a OC in the building that does any type of creative play calling, any type of nothing. Everything is vanilla. Everything is easy to read. Everything is just dumb as hell. It makes no sense. So like you said, bro, and now I heard you when you said it. A goddamn screen pass on 3 and 6 is just like, it's asinine. Like, what?
S9, S10, S12.
Why would you do that? That just makes no damn sense. The offensive play calling is just super vanilla, super bland, super rudimentary. And then the defense, I ain't gonna go into that a whole lot because you can catch us on the Coach's Corner Tuesday at 9 and get all that smoke. But defense, the defensive coordinator, same old, soft zone, not too many blitz. And when I say that, prime example is at the very last play, the third quarter. I don't remember who it was. I need to go back. I may have been Bowman. I'm not sure, but they did a linebacker blitz, and he went through there like I said it would do. He went through there so fast, so quick that he was able to get him and put him on his ass. But of course we don't do that. We just it was Diablo. Okay, we don't do that. We just keep doing the same soft zone, and you have. Baker ain't no slouch. You have arguably two of the best wide receiver duo in Tampa Bay. I know one didn't play, and you giving him time, he's going to carve you up as any competent quarterback is going to do. I don't understand why we are continuously subjugated to this trash. Like, I just don't get it. For me, the players across the board, left and right, meaning offense and defense, they played excellent in the schemes that they were put in. To me, this is total coaching failure. Preseason wouldn't have changed the situation. Nothing would have changed the situation because it was, in my opinion, totally on coaching, and that is an issue. And that's my rant.
Oh, first of all, before I begin, how y'all doing on this wonderful evening? Um, it's nighttime, but how y'all feeling?
Doing good, Jane. How you?
Pissed
Can't
off.
complain. I ain't pissed off no more.
I am. I
Let's
am.
see. Let's see. Let's dive into it. Defensively, I have no problem. They missed it up on defense. They did. It wasn't bland. Um, you have to throw in coverages in order to offset him. Even though he got out, he didn't get out like he was supposed to. Defense did his job for the most part. They got at him. They sent different blitzes at him. When it was time to play coverage, they played coverage. So Jeff Ulbrich to me did a good job today. Um, when it comes to Zach, Zach, overall, the screen game was underwhelming. To be honest with you, it was underwhelming. But as I went back and looked back at the game in its totality, and I specifically looked at the offensive scheme to what he was trying to do. It made sense. Um, the reason being they had to do some extra things because Mooney is out, and they had to do some extra things, especially when Drake went down. And when it comes to the run game and everything, I know they were trying to use the screen game, but he did use the short passes to try to get yardage as well. And some coaches consider that as part of the run game itself. Um, can his play calling and blocking scheme can have been a little better? Of course, it comes with any coaching. But overall, when you had that man back there, that man. That's his new nickname, Titan. That man.
And who is that?
Michael Penix.
Oh,
That-
The thing is with him, it's like what Titus said. He never gets riled in a situation. The things that he did within that game lets me know that he has the potential. Keyword, they say everybody, the potential of being one of the top quarterbacks in the league.
yeah.
When he dove for that touchdown, a lot of quarterbacks would have used their elbow first to try to get some momentum. He used his hand. That's critical. When he got that first down, Titan mentioned, he stretched out. Other quarterbacks ain't gonna do it. Some of the other quarterbacks ain't gonna do it. I'm not gonna say the whole NFL because some other quarterbacks will do that, but him with his mind frame, the way he could see the field, the way he puts the ball, like that pass he did on the last drive to Ray McLeod. That was a good excuse my friend. That was a good pass. That was a
Yes.
dang good pass. Even though in aspects he missed some passes within the game and stuff like that, and a couple passes could have been picked. A lot of those was when defenders got their hands and swatted the ball and got their hand on the ball and it didn't go like it was supposed to. But overall, I can't. When you got something that's, I'm gonna say this, that special at quarterback, because he has the potential. With the talent that he was dealt with, he did his job at the end of the day. And I'm done.
Now, see, the thing is, and James, yeah, I had to look at it over again myself. I'm still trying to figure out what happened between the first series and the rest of the game. Because that first series, we walked down the field like Tampa Bay wasn't there.
Yep.
It was a situation where you didn't put your offensive line in a position to have to block long before you get rid of the ball. Boom. Boom. Or if it's a run, there's a run coming up. You had Bijan out there as a wide receiver. You had Bijan out there as a wide receiver on a couple of plays. Just like me and Coach, we both were saying. Looking at that Buffalo game tonight, looking at that offensive coordinator from Buffalo, mixing things up, plus the fact that, you know, Josh Allen is far more experienced a quarterback and more dangerous a threat than Michael Penix is at this time. I've got to take that under consideration too. And, you know, a little bit of it is Penix not being allowed. It's kind of like they got him on a pitch count. They got reins on him. They don't want him to do too much. But this was one of those games that Tampa Bay said, we're going to stop the run and we're going to make the quarterback win it. That's what it looked like to me. You know, we're going to stop Bijan because they were on Bijan like stink on a pot. They were on him everywhere he went. And then on top of that, we were so simple, y'all, that every time Warner, okay, you get ready to snap the ball. Right before we snap the ball, Warner takes off and runs to a hole. That's exactly where Bijan was going. And I mean, we were so predictable with it that Tampa Bay adjusted to it. They just went right to that hole. They went right to that spot. Now, common sense with a kind of a damaged offensive line, them trying to stop you because they know that you have a damaged offensive line. There are many, many other things that you can do offensively. See, I can't blame the defense at all. Because they were getting back there all day long. They were getting back there. Either the play was being okay, Buddy would get back there. He would get held. Okay, he'd get held, so he wasn't able to grab the running back taking off. But they were disrupting Tampa Bay's backfield all day long until the officials started letting them hold. And that's why I'm so much of an advocate of having some big 350, 370 pound. I get that. Look here. That youngin' that can't lose no weight. I don't care. I put that joker on the line. Look here, son. All I want you to do is just walk this way. When you just stand up and just start walking. Because I want at least 3 or 4 people occupied. That way they can't hold my people. Because that's all I'm looking at here today. Looking at right now. I got the game on right now. They were holding everybody. Officials not calling nothing. Because we're speed guys. You know, we have a lot of speed. And see, speed comes at a cost of not having a lot of, not being big enough. Okay, and those jokers, man, I'm sitting up here looking right now. I want to get a 2x2 and a bullwhip and just start swinging and beating folks because of the fact they holding these folks. One of my keys for winning this game and winning for the rest of the season is for these coaches to be working these officials because of the fact that we being held. I look here, man. That number 62, he was grabbing folk like they had handles on.
Let me say this,
Well,
John. When we look at the totality of the NFL, college, high school, even Pee Wee, holding is going to be occurring 90% of the time on every play.
Absolutely.
See, the thing is, and what we have to understand is when you teach a defensive lineman, because the defensive lineman, hold on, I hear echo. I hear.
It may be me.
Here too.
Yeah. So when you get the defensive line, they are taught to defeat the block and how to get off a person that's gonna hold. They're gonna hold every play, John. It's on the referee if they're gonna catch it or not. The coach can get on to the referees all day. I'm talking about tearing a new asshole, pause. But the thing is that the refs still gonna do what they want to do at the end of the day, bro. The only person that can stop them from doing what they're doing is the NFL, the front office, because they hold the power at that point.
No, my bad. Go ahead, man.
And so you just got to. They just have to get out the blocks a little bit more quicker, but that's gonna come with time. I was very impressed with the defensive line play because they were getting back there before. It's just that if they called a coverage with the zone and had moved the linebackers out, that's when Baker would go ahead and get out the way and start running. But in other lines and everything, they held Baker they contained Baker pretty well today, to me.
Oh yeah, I agree
They
with
didn't get up out. Yeah, they didn't get up out their rush. They didn't get up out their rush lanes that much today. So it was more of some things could have been better, but we'll talk about that more later.
So as I was trying to piggyback off what James was saying, John, as a coach, defensive coach, you from as early as literally you teach your defense the best way to, because he's right. They hold in every play. Like our coaches teach their offensive linemen literally to hold, but you're supposed to do it inside with the chest part of the shoulder pads and not outside. But if you hold them inside, you'll never get called. But so defense, to teach them, how to not get held. The one thing you teach them is don't ever let them put their hands on you. So that's first. So the fact that they're getting held means that the defensive player isn't doing what he's supposed to do. He's letting dude grab him, hold him, like swim move, bull rush, whatever you need to do. Don't let him put his hands on you and you won't get held.
Now, Coach, go ahead, Ron. I'll go after you.
We did some good plays, and then we come back. We get the call. We did some good plays, then we come back. So basically, what I'm saying, we beat ourselves. Tampa Bay did not really do nothing. We beat ourselves because all those false starts and penalties that we got, you cannot win a game like that. You cannot win. And like Coach James said, when you beat yourself, you going backwards most of the time instead of going forward. And the play calling just made it even worse. And if I'm Raheem, I would tell Zach Robinson, hey, you don't need to be in the booth no more. You need to be down here with me.
I agree with that one right there. I wholeheartedly agree with that one.
What is them being on the field going to do though? Like this,
your players. Wait a minute, your players to tell you what's going on out there. You get to see so much, but you to talk to your players when they come off the field. They just tell you what works and what doesn't work. Maybe
I think some reason that a lot of OCs and DCs go in the box is because they got a better bird's eye view of the entire field.
Absolutely. I would much rather him stay in the box than be on the field.
But okay. Now let's go through the progression of a play is over with. You get ready to run another play. Okay. Whatever it is that you may see from the box or from the booth can change as soon as you get to the line of scrimmage. Because aren't you calling a play not based on what the defense is doing, but on what you want to do? Because
it's supposed to be both. It's supposed to be literally both. Like you build your game plan on what you want to do, but into the game, then you have to adjust. Prime example, Tidy said earlier, and if I'm not mistaken, Tidy, you can correct me. Tyler Algier and Bijan Robinson both had 24 yards, but Bijan took more attempts to get to the same amount of yardage that Tyler has. So if I'm an OC doing my job correctly, and I'm seeing that, I'm okay. Well, Bijan, because he said we saying his name wrong. Bijan, he's more of your finesse back. So if your finesse back is not working, he's getting the same amount of production as your bruiser back, but your bruiser is doing it in less attempts. I would say, okay, we need to scrap Bijan being the feature back for today and roll with Tyler Algier. But see, he doesn't do that. There's no in-game adjustment there. He's just, let's just walk head first into this wall over and over and over and over and over, and hopefully our head will knock it down versus walking around the bitch like common sense.
You're right, Coach. You is right. That my problem with Zach Robinson. You got to change up. You got to throw something at a defense that has not seen you do yet. You got to make the defense be on their heels.
Yep. So that's what I wanted to say to you when you asked earlier. My bad. I'm gonna go ahead and say this and let you go. You said you wanted to know what happened between the first drive and then the rest of the game. I think the first drive they were like, okay, let's see what Atlanta do, and then we did the whole entire first drive. They're like, oh, these fools ain't changed nothing since last year. Like, let's just go and lock them down. We know exactly what they're going to do. Everyone knows our game plan. It's the same thing over and over. So they just shut it down. Yeah. The first series, they were, okay, what are they going to do? Michael Penix is finally starting. Maybe they done cooked up something new. We caught them off guard. After they seen their first drive, they were like, oh, yeah, no, it's the same old bullshit. Let's go ahead and lock this down.
Go back to what I said.
Well,
go ahead, Ron. Right quick. Let Titan cook right quick. Titan wanted to say something.
Yeah, I just want to ask the panel, if y'all were Zach Robinson, what would y'all have done differently in today's game? I just want to go around the panel. John, if you want to start, and we could just go around. What would y'all have done differently in terms of your scheme and in terms of your coaching?
Gone downfield, number one. You didn't fling nothing. You got a quarterback with a cannon, and you didn't fling not one pass over 30 yards. I mean, send them down there. Okay? Draw a pass interference penalty, something of that nature. Even an interception. But you didn't go downfield not one time. All of your actions, all of everything that you were doing was either 5 to 15 yards off the line of scrimmage or behind the line. I mean, you got to let these people know that you will go down there. You got to let them know. And look, you got all these wide receivers over here on the bench for what? Why are these wide receivers just sitting up there, sitting on the bench? You letting some play and not utilizing the others. Plus the fact we didn't do. I'm an advocate of keeping the defense on their heels, just like Ron said. Quick huddles, sugar huddles, whatever. Don't let them change their personnel. They did it to us. Tampa Bay was doing that to us just about the whole game. But I didn't see that out of my offensive coordinator. That's what I would have done. That's one thing I would have done. I'm sitting up here playing mad right now because I'm frustrated.
All right, what about you, James?
I agree. I would have went down the field a little bit more. The thing is critical. I want to test my right tackle out. And what I mean by that is that we did a lot of chip blocking today, sending a tight end over there and everything like that. I want to see how he do in one-on-one situation. I would have did that a little bit more today. And the reason being because that opens up and that setup going down the field. I would have did a lot more less screens than I would wanted to. And overall, I agree with the quick pass scheme, the 3-step drop, and everything like that because it was doing its job for the most part.
Ron, what would you have done differently if you was at Robinson today?
Throw it down the field. Make them play your game. You don't play Tampa Bay game. Make Tampa Bay play your game. This it's like you playing checkers instead of playing chess. We should probably be playing chess, not checkers. Tampa Bay were playing chess today. They knew what we were trying to do. Like Coach said, it's the same old plays that we did last year. Change it up. But that's just me, though.
What about you, Coach?
I actually disagree with what everybody said. And again, let me preface this by I'm sorry if there's a lot of noise. I'm here for it. I actually think they really couldn't go down the field because we don't currently have speed on the field to really go deep down the field in the time that we need. So what I would have actually done, and what I think we should do a lot more often, is I think because we have the teams have the danger of Bijan not only breaking excuse me, God, I'm trying to make sure I say this man's name right. Bijan has.
We know who you're talking about.
Yeah, just say Bijan. We know.
But I don't want to disrespect the man. He said we be saying his name wrong, so I'm trying to make sure I always say it right.
What he gonna do to you, Coach?
Huh? What'd you say?
He ain't gonna do nothing to you. He know you trying.
Still, that's I'm trying to respect the man. Mama named him Clay. I'm gonna call him Clay, whatever. But you know anyway.
Now I'm gonna call him Clay.
But I because teams have to worry about him and Tyler, what I would do is run a ton more spread offense, meaning four wide receivers or 3 wide receivers and a tight end, whatever, spread the field because teams will have to worry about your receivers, and now they got to worry about Bijan either breaking a run or play action pass. But I definitely would have did, especially with our speedy back out. I would have ran a lot more spread, play action. I would have switched up once I seen Bijan ain't getting the yards, which is going to be games like that. He's just not going to be effective. Then I'm gonna go with my bruiser. He's doing the same amount of production with less attempts. I'm gonna roll with him. I'm also going to get Ray in the mix. A lot of people been mentioning names. I haven't heard a single person mention Ray. Every single time the Falcons need something clutch, Ray comes up with the clutch play. So I think that deserves Ray getting way more burn than he does get. But again, that would require you to do a spread offense, and we don't do that. But again, that's the variety that the Falcons mix. The reason we were so deadly in 2016 is because teams had absolutely no idea what we were going to do. We had people all over the field in all different types of positions, running all different types of routes. It was just an overload to the defense. But we don't do that. We have 2 wide receivers, 2 tight ends, and a running back. Like they know we're going to run the ball. So I would have just mixed it up. I would have maybe tried going down the field once or twice, but again, we missing Mooney, which is the one that takes the top off the defense. I think Washington with a little bit more games. I think he has the ability to be as good as Mooney with taking the top off. But Drake ain't super fast, and he's not going to take the top off. And I don't know if Ray is. I just know Ray comes up in the clutch. So that's what I would have done.
All right, John. What were you about to say before we asked that question?
Oh, what? Well, I already answered the question. I forgot. Don't worry about it. He'll come back. It always come back to us old folk.
I will say, I do think Coach does make a valid point without Mooney being in the lineup, and of course Tampa knew that, so they were kind of able to scheme a little bit to stop us from going deep. Outside of Mooney, I think really the only like speedster out there would probably be Ray. And I mean, I like what Ray gives us as the third wide receiver, but he ain't an outside wide receiver. So, I think he does best at kind of what we seen him do today and also last year, operating slants, finding holes in the defense and, picking up 8 to 12 yards here and there. He's just not an outside guy, so it's kind of hard for him to do that.
Right. Put him in the slot. I mean, that solves that. Put him in the slot, Washington in the slot, Drake on the outside, and fucking God damn it! Now I can't think of his name.
Oh, that's where he played a lot of. That's where he played a lot of today, coach. He played.
Who was that returning kickoff for us today?
But not in a spread, James. I'm saying in a spread.
It was in the spread. It was in the spread, coach, because that's how you got that pass at the end of the game.
But then that makes my point even more valid because it worked. So, like, why did you do more of that instead of the dumb shit that we do, like a screen pass on 3rd and 6? Like, if the powers that be, whatever deity you believe in, whatever you believe in, if I could pray to that person and let him tell, I ask him to give me 10 to 15 seconds with Zach Morris, that would be all I tell him. I'm like, bro, if you run one more GD screen, I'm gonna punch you in the mouth. Like, it's time to let the screens go. It's time to let the screens go. The screens have got to go. They have never worked. Stop running the goddamn screens, bro.
Yeah, because see, my thing about these screens, you throwing the ball too far, sideways. These linebackers in these corners, I mean, now, okay, if you were burning people deep, if you were burning people on passes and runs, things of that sort, and you had them on their heels, you might be able to get away with one. Okay? Those wide receiver screens or those running back screens way over here. I mean, and you throw to the far side of the field with it. Okay? I mean, it takes time for the ball to get from your hands, quarterback, to the person that's going to be running that screen. It takes a minute. That's 20 yards sideways just about. Okay? Now, he's got to secure the ball, look and see where his blocking is, and then take off. Man, it just doesn't make any sense to me. Now,
John, what makes it so egregious is screens are one of the best tools to go against the blitz. when they blitz, we don't even run it. So like you're using it at the absolute wrong damn time to begin with. Not only is it not working, you're using it when you shouldn't be using it. Like when teams are blitzing is when you want to run a screen. Like we don't even do that. Like that, it just doesn't make sense. It's the craziest thing I've ever seen a coach do time and time and time again. And it's like, right, there's no way Raheem, like, how can Raheem as a coach do? You run that shit one more time, I'm kicking you in your ass. Like, how what? Like, bring him in, bro.
And it was the same thing with that bubble screen we used to always run with Julio. We couldn't get it right. I don't care what coach we had here, we could not get a screen right. It would work every once in a while. And I look at how now the best team I've seen that I can remember running a screen was New England when Tom Brady's first and second years. Because Tom Brady didn't throw no real deep passes his first and second year. But man, New England had their screen game down to a science. Now, when I see us run a screen versus what New England used to do, we just look like the Keystone Cops, all in the family. I mean, we just look ridiculous. Look like the doggone gates of the zoo opened up and all the animals escaped. And you ain't catching none of them. I mean, we look horrible with the screen. And coach, you said something that I had noticed and I meant to say myself about the spread. Hey, the way that we are right now, we could run the run and shoot. I don't know why we don't, but I've been saying that for a long time. You like the West Coast with who we have as a quarterback, which he ain't gonna run, so that's fine. But with the running backs we got, and then the plethora of receivers that we have, serviceable receivers, I don't know why we're not running the run and shoot. To be honest, we can run the run and shoot. Cause see, I mean, when we go into the spread, whether it be 4 wide receivers or 5 wide receivers, they back off. We're able to operate underneath those 5-10 yard passes. If he throws them quick, boom, boom, boom. We can do something with it. But the man, Zach Robinson, they say he's supposed to be from the McVay School of Offensive Football, all this type of stuff. Now, it's just frustrating to me. It's just frustrating to me. And your fans that were fired up, that were about to get the fight on social media, talking about this, talking about that. And Tidy, I saw you had to throw some folk out and cut some folk out on the site about in the group about. I mean, this game was anticipated ever since, I would say, the draft. This game has been anticipated ever since the draft as to what we were going to do in year 1.52 of Michael Penix, how the defense was going to be. I mean, people were geeked for this game here. They were geeked for this game.
I will say this, John, on your point real quick. I'm going to need the Atlanta Falcons to absolutely revoke T.I. and Ludacris from every single season over, because every time them bastards do something with the Falcons for the season over, we lose every time, both of them. So they don't need to do nothing with the Falcons no more.
Well, see, I can't blame them. They ain't. I know guilt by association.
Every time they come to hype the crowd up for the season opener, we lose. So
see, the people were hyped before the season opener. Uncle Steve and Big Low cut a doggone video, man.
I know, it's the funniest thing ever.
I mean, everybody was crunk. Now I'm trying to decide what I'm gonna call the league office for next week's game, because we do not need to be on Sunday Night Football. From what I saw earlier today, we don't need to be on Sunday Night Football. The only game on, you can't help but watch the Falcons after a Buffalo Bills Baltimore Ravens game like you had tonight. Coming out there.
John, the craziest thing, I was watching that game, and I'm like, okay, Buffalo was down 15 points with 5 minutes to go in the game. Take Josh Allen out of it, just because, again, as far as talent goes, I think Josh Allen is the most talented quarterback in the league right now. That boy is bad. But taking him out, just solely looking at the plays, both teams, especially Buffalo, though, but both teams schemed their players up perfectly to get open when the quarterback made the perfect passes, but everything was open. These ain't no slouch teams. Both of them got good defenses, although you couldn't tell it today because they scored, 90 points or close to 80-something points. I'm pretty sure it was like
81 points.
Yeah, you couldn't tell it today. But that's my point, man. Like, Toddy, I know you say players make plays, but yes, they do. When the coaches put them in a position to make the plays, like you got to call a better game, man. This game was called horribly. And watching that Buffalo Ravens game, it's like, God damn, why can't my Falcons be like that? Because you can't tell me they got a better roster.
They definitely do, Coach. We can't do that now.
Outside of quarterback, who else? Well, we know who else? Because Baltimore quarterback, of course, we're taking quarterback out, but their running back arguably is just as good as Bijan. Their receivers are not better. I don't think Zay Flowers is better than Drake London. I don't think Buffalo's number one receiver is better than Drake London. I don't think their tight ends is better than than Pitts. Like, I don't know if I believe they got a better roster, bro. I really don't.
So if you don't believe they got a better roster, Coach, you got to ask yourself this: why are they consistently winning every year, and we're consistently losing?
Their coaches put them in position to make plays and be as great as they can be.
All right, so you just said Buffalo has the best quarterback in the NFL, right?
Yeah, I think talent-wise, yes.
Okay, now is it fair to say that the Ravens have at least a top 3 quarterback in the NFL?
Yeah, I'll put it for. I mean, that's personal preference. I would say maybe top 5, maybe top 10. I don't know. I think a couple of
you can't go past 10. I mean, you can't go past 5. Come on, Coach.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I think that's just your preference, but at least the top 5, sure. Yeah, I'll give them that.
The point I'm trying to make is, like, when you got an elite quarterback, man, like, they make up for so many other deficiencies on your team. Like Josh Allen, they had like a middle of a road defense last year, but he was so spectacular in his play that he made up for it. And then, you got Baltimore. They got Lamar. They got Derrick Henry. They always typically have a pretty good defense. So,
but Toddy, I see, I get where you're going, but this would be my pushback to that, right? Okay, let's maybe take them out of it, right? Let's maybe take them out of it because we are talking about two of the top 5 most elite quarterbacks in the league. What's my man? Not Sam Darnold. He spent the whole preseason getting none but epidurals. He ain't played a touchdown of preseason. One of the older quarterbacks. God damn it. No. He was with Stafford. Oh. Okay. Shit. It's kind of hard to make a comparison because no matter who I put up there, I ain't gonna say talent-wise they're better than Penix. They just have more experience, so that does make up for it. But what I'm getting at is, why is it seem like when teams need something, that team finds a way to do it, and we generally don't do that. Like if it's 3rd and 9, they find generally. Why so many teams are able to scheme somebody open to get that 3rd and 9 when we are hit or miss at it.
I'm gonna continue on my point of this, Coach. We can draw back to last year when we had Kirk Cousins, and before he went through whatever injury thing he went through. when he was playing, after like maybe the first 2 games, he knocked some rust off. But when Kirk got going and Kirk started playing damn good football, the Falcons at that time, they were a damn good team, and we was actually 6-3, and most of that was predicated off quarterback play. Now, when Kirk fell off the cliff and he just became trash because he was quote unquote injured, the team fell off the cliff. My point is that's how important top tier quarterback play is in this league. If your quarterback is playing like at a very good elite level, they're going to eliminate so many deficiencies on the team, which is going to increase your chances of winning. Now we're going to hope that Penix can get to that arena pretty soon, and if so, then he's going to master a lot of the team's deficiencies or places that we don't have talent. I just think it's hard to compare this Falcons team with these top quarterbacks. I just think that's a hard pill to swallow as a comparison goes.
I get what you're saying, brother. I truly do. I get what you're saying. That's why I say taking the quarterbacks out of it. But it was just so blatantly evident watching. And I know you probably didn't watch it, but if you had to watch the Buffalo Ravens game, bro, and seeing just how like when Buffalo needed it, their OC scheme, like it was just a masterclass of offensive coordinator play calling. Like,
they got the best quarterback.
Yes, but their receivers were wide open. Like you would have to be DeMarcus Russell, or whatever his name was, not to make that pass. Like legitimately, a high schooler could throw that pass because they were schemed so open. I mean, every time they needed it, boom, they schemed open. It was just crazy. And the whole time I'm watching, I'm like, God damn, why we can't do that? Like, this is just crazy to me.
Well, I'm going to say something about that. And I hope it's not true. It's just like they're trying to make Michael Penix into a pocket passer.
He is, though, John. Y'all got to stop that narrative. He is a pocket passer. Michael Penix does not like to run at all.
He is a pocket passer. Now, he's a pocket passer that has great athleticism.
Okay, well, see, that needs to be his next evolution. His next evolution. Well, he's run earlier in his career than other quarterbacks have run.
In the 7 years that he was 6 years he was in college. I think he has 11 touchdowns, 12 touchdowns. Michael Penix is not a runner. That was one of the knocks on him in the combine. He was actually the worst scrambling quarterback in the draft.
Now, so to tie this point, Josh Allen will run.
Yeah,
Josh Allen
is the most talented quarterback.
He will run you over.
Yeah, he will run, and he can throw on the move about as good as Aaron Rodgers in his prime. He can spot receivers on the move about as good as Aaron Rodgers in his prime. And that needs to be an evolution for him, especially in light of the fact that this particular year, you don't have an offensive line that is going to give him that shield of steel. But otherwise, you need to get that ball out of his hand to somebody quickly. Yeah, go ahead, Daniel. Sorry.
Before I say this, what's this evolution he needs to do again?
Run.
He did that today.
Yeah, and throw on the run.
He can do that.
Yeah, no one said he doesn't. He can't do it, James. What I said was that's not his game. Like Michael Penix ain't a scrambling quarterback.
He ain't a scrambling quarterback, but he will scramble when he had to.
Yeah, well,
the thing is that there's no evolution to that when he can make the necessary plays in the pocket. It was a couple times today that they almost had him, and what he do?
Made
Took
him.
off, made a play.
Yeah,
So
James. I don't think you heard what Dan said.
hold on. There's no evolution to that. That what he need to do. They do run boot passes with him. It's just stupid boot ass passes that they like to call. Can I say that?
Say whatever.
Yeah. Hey. Yeah, that's what you see. That's what you see. And yeah. See, I don't want. See that's one thing that I really don't want to have is a statue at quarterback. Now, Michael Penix is not exactly a statue.
Oh, he ain't a statue at all.
No,
he's not exactly a statue, but he prefers. Well. See, if you're a pocket passer,
he is a Sam Darnold. He will stay. He will get out of the pocket only when necessary. Outside of that, he's gonna stay in there and throw the ball.
I'm not giving him Sam Darnold at all.
Yeah, I wouldn't say Sam Darnold either as a comp on him. I honestly think he's kind of like the guy we saw today in a sense, like
Mayfield.
Yeah, like I don't want to run, but I will.
Hell no, Baker will take off on your ass quick.
Penix to take off.
He ain't gonna take off unless he has to scramble.
And like so
let me say this.
Penix got a little speed to him too now.
I'll say this: outside of last year, and I know scrambling ain't about rushing. They don't go hand in hand, but it kind of gives you some kind of idea based on what we talk about. Outside of the 2024 season, Baker Mayfield has never had over 165 rushing yards in the NFL
per season.
In no season outside of the 2024 year.
How many?
He's never had over 165 rushing yards in the NFL season. And that's kind of why I say Penix is kind of like Mayfield. I mean, they don't want to run, but if they have to, they will. For example, let me give you an example. If Penix stays on the same pace, he will finish the season with 357 yards rushing. If he stays on the same pace he had tonight, I take it. And then that would be Baker had 378 yards rushing last year in 2024. Penix would finish with 357.
Right around the same level. But and see, I'm not talking about Michael Vick rushing where you rushing 150, 200 yards a game.
No. You don't get that from Lamar.
Yeah, what I'm saying is if I need a first down and it's 5, 6, 7 yards away, you slide, move. Then when the pocket breaks down, you can maneuver out of the pocket a little bit to the right, a little bit to the left, fake, whatever, throw something on a dime to somebody, kind of like Aaron Rodgers is my perfect example. And Penix has the arm to be able to do that. But
see, my only problem is, John, is like I understand what Tidy just said. The numbers do match, but when you say like Aaron Rodgers, and even with Baker, like Aaron Rodgers, all right, they hike the ball. The defenses have great coverage. Aaron Rodgers gonna pull the ball and take off. I just don't see Penix doing that because he didn't do it in college. He'll scramble around in the backfield to somebody get open, then throw the ball. The only time I have seen him run is if he gets pressed. Like, that's what I'm talking about. I don't, but again, it's cool if he does it. But the few times I've watched him, he never did that. Like, he just, like, I think Noah just posted last year, he had 11 yards in 3 games. Like, he's not going to pull the ball down and run unless you press him.
Yeah, that's his game. He don't look to run and unless it's just advantageous for him to run. And also, y'all, we do got to keep in mind like this is the guy who's had 2 ACL surgeries. Man.
Exactly.
So
That's why I'm like, he do not want to
Yeah.
run.
y'all saw what he did today. He slid quick.
Quick. And bro, when he was running that, he looked like, oh my god, I want to slide. The whole time he looked like he wanted to slide. Like
now, he had the ACL surgeries due to hits, or was that non-contact?
So Michael Penix. Oh, go ahead, Tyler. Go ahead, Tyler. I'm gonna let you go ahead. Go.
I'll say this and I'll let you go, James. I'll just say this because I'm the guy that also has had 2 ACL surgeries. When you have went under that knife, well, first when you have had that pain of that ACL popping on you, which sounds like you go under that knife, you go through that strenuous rehab. Only thing is in the back of your mind is I never want to experience this again. So I'm gonna do everything in my power to lower the chance of injury. And I know somebody will say, "Well, if you play not to get hurt, that's how you get hurt." That sounds good on the internet, but that ain't real life. When you don't win under that knife, bro, that shit always in the back of your mind. Whatever I can do not to get hurt again, I'm gonna try to decrease my chances of injury. So that means if I gotta stay in the pocket more and take less hits, that's what I'm gonna do. Go ahead, James. But that's my spiel on it.
Oh, go ahead, John. Go ahead, John.
Well, that's why I wanted to know what it was that happened to where he had to have both ACL surgeries. You know, was he scrambling? Was he dependent upon a line and somebody hit his leg? You know, if anybody could enlighten me, I would like to know.
So when he was at Indiana, back, I think this was because he was in college for a long time. When he was back in Indiana, one of them was a scramble because he was actually a scrambling quarterback before he became a pocket passer. Believe it or not. It was one. I think both of them. I think either one of them was on the scramble and the other one was on the hit. No, let me take that back. Both of them was on the scramble because he got out the pocket and he ran and he stepped the wrong way and he heard that pop the first time. Went through that strenuous one, came back the next year, and I think the other one popped, or I think it was the same ACL that popped, or it was either the other one. And he went through that surgery with that one. Yeah, it was the other ACL. It popped as well. So he just became more of a pocket passer. He still wears the knee. If you look at Michael Penix closely and look at him today when they had the full pitch on, he still wears a knee brace.
Yeah.
He still wears you can see the knee brace on the knee that pop, that gives him the most trouble. So he's basically operating like an Odell Beckham. He may be operating without an ACL.
right, which is why I said that I'm not saying the man can't run. All quarterbacks can run. We've seen Matt Ryan make a run. But what I'm saying is that man will absolutely running for him is the last resort. So there's no evolution of him turning into a running quarterback. I just don't see that happening.
Yeah, I agree on that.
I agree on that too. And the thing was, he was a running quarterback first. That what made him a pocket passer because of them 2 ACL surgeries. Lord, have mercy. And I seen the video on him how he tore his ACL. That was bad. Bad. It was one of them type you thought he wasn't gonna come back and play. To be real with you.
But you know, as we all know, I'm not gonna say I just haven't been as high up on him as everyone else. For me, I need to see the proof in the pudding. But he played a great game today. Still has touch issues, I see. And the funniest thing is, even the announcer said, brung it up during the game. I was like, so how is it that, you know, I see this and say this to my fans, and I get bombarded with, I don't know what I'm talking about. He's one of the most accurate quarterbacks when clearly it has been a thing for him since before the draft. But that's neither here nor there. But he played a great game. I'm just, dude. If this, I'm telling you, if our coordinators don't get it together, we're in for another 8-9 season, 7-10 season. Like it's loaded. Like, because no matter, and previously Toddy always asked this question: is it the coaches or is it the talent? I truly don't believe this year is a talent situation. I think we have talent across the board on both sides of the ball. It's for me. It's solely on coaching. Again, I want to apologize for the noise because I am in the airport.
You good?
Let me say this, and then we can move forward. When it comes to Michael Penix, touch passes, okay, yeah, that he needs to work on that. But every quarterback that comes out of a draft has a report on them saying what their weaknesses are and where their strengths are. It was only 2 touch passes within the game that I saw that he missed. The other ones drew a flag. Am I wrong? I want y'all to correct me if I'm wrong.
I think it was more than 2. I know one of them was I think it was to Drake London. I can't remember exactly what pass that was, but even the announcers commented because I said to myself, "Wow, there's no touch." And as soon as I said that to myself, they said it on TV. I believe it was one to Drake London where like it was over his head. Yeah, it was over. For sure, it was over his head. But I think it was like the one that he could have made a touchdown if he had just put a little touch on it, just dropped it in the bread basket.
See, but he had one that he threw to Bijan that was a touch that was clear as money. And that went down the field for some good yardage.
Yeah,
So,
I don't think his accuracy was bad at all today.
It wasn't.
See, I'm talking touch. Like he throws line drives. He has to learn how to, drop it in the bread basket. When the receiver just holds his hands out and just drops right there, perfect.
But that's the thing. That's what he does a good job of. He drops it in the bread basket at almost every time. It just on
James,
sometimes. No, hold on, Coach. Hold on, Coach. If I looked at the same game today, it was a lot of passes that he made that was in the bread basket, big dog. Am I wrong?
I mean, yeah, sure, but there was also some that he had an issue with touch. That's all.
But that's a part of the game, Coach. Ain't no quarterback gonna be perfect on a daily, on a every game basis, bro.
Come on,
We try
bro.
to, I'm just saying though, bro, because you trying to, okay, he did this and did this and did this, but he need to be better doing this.
But
We can't do that, Coach. We really can't do that, Coach, because if you look, but listen, we can.
You can't make left hand turns. They've been telling you for years that you can't make left hand turns, and then you get on the street and can't make left hand turn and say, "Well, everyone can't make a left hand turn." Well, no shit. Like, but your issue has always been making a left hand turn, so it's okay to acknowledge that and just try to fix it.
The thing is, the game, but Coach, but the thing is, every position has to fit something in order. There's no perfect player.
Sir.
That's why but listen to me. That's why you get the overall gameplay and look at the overall gameplay of what he did today, bro. When Drake, bro, he could have easily bowed out, bro, when Drake went down. But next thing you know, he leading us down the field for a field goal, bro.
James,
Hold on, Coach. You're missing the point, Coach. And what I'm saying is, bro, some things, yeah, he needs to work on, but it's gonna outweigh others because of the overall what he did today at the game, bro. And why I call him the man, because he ain't done that again, bro. He did that last year within his 3 starts, and he did this again today. That man put the team on his back, bro.
And that
he delivered, bro. That's the man, bro.
That's great. But
and then you go back and hold on, and then you go back to his overall. You go to his overall college report, but he was one of the most accurate passers coming out of college, coach.
See, that's y'all irritate me with that.
He was, coach. Look up the reports. Look up the reports on Penix. Look at the reports on Penix.
I know
he was one of the most accurate passers coming out of college. Am I wrong, y'all?
You're right, but wrong at the same time. He was the most accurate.
But coach, how am I wrong? How am I wrong?
Because you're not putting in.
I am putting in the whole totality.
No, you're not.
I said that. Yes, I am, because I'm putting in weakness. I'm quoting the weaknesses that you say. Hold on. Let me finish. Then I'm gonna let you cook. I'm putting in the totality of what you're saying, what was his weaknesses, but I'm putting in his strengths as well. So I'm putting in the whole scouting report. So what am I doing wrong?
But because you're not putting in totality.
Yes, I am. Yes, I am. Because I just said, coach. Now, hold on. Tight. I'm tight. Let me ask tight to this. Let me ask tight to this. But yeah, I'm telling you the truth, because that was what the reports were saying, bro.
You're wrong, James.
No, I'm not wrong. I'm not wrong.
Stop talking so he was the most accurate in downfield deep passes. That's what you're missing.
And he in the midfield, he was elite at that as well. He was good at catching his receivers in stride. Don't give me that, because I watched Penix closely.
You can literally pull up his scouting report. His issue has always been the medium touch passes. That has literally that word his issue,
bro. And I did not negate that. I did not negate that at all. I'm giving you the whole totality. Now I'm asking, yes, you can, because I'm giving you. I'm not disagreeing, but coach, I'm not disagreeing with you on the touch passes. I'm giving you the whole totality with this strengths. What is you not getting? I'm giving you the whole report, bro.
But you're not.
Yes, I am.
Okay, so
yes, I am. Yes, I am.
Let me ask you, James.
Yes, I am.
He was the most accurate.
Yes, he was, bro. He was.
In what?
Down the field, mid, and everything. Now the shorts is where he was struggling.
It was only down the field.
All right, there's this guy report on NFL.com right there. How do I
blow it up a little bit, Tidy? Can you blow it up a little bit?
How do I do that?
They have don't they have a? Well, I tell you what, I'm looking on my phone. Oh, well, I am.
It's like control. You should have a up arrow. Shit.
Right, there you go.
I can't see it, Tyler. Hold on.
I blew it up. Can you see it now?
Hold on. It's my phone.
Yeah. Scroll up. Oh, you got weaknesses. Okay, yeah, that's it.
All right, and I'm gonna try to find another scout report too while y'all look at that, so we can have more than one source.
I can't look at it.
Okay, I read it off. It says, one, suffered multiple season-ending injuries during his time in Indiana, including tearing his right ACL twice. Ooh, it's the same one. Okay.
It's the same one with the knee brace.
Yeah, he did that same one twice. Then it said posted 20 TDs and 9 interceptions over his final 11 games of the 2023 season. Forces receivers to break stride on a variety of throws. Throws with wide open front side when feet failed to follow his eyes. Heavily reliant upon receiving talent winning jump balls. Production consistency plummet when forced to throw outside the pocket. Okay. Now see that's one of them. One of the things that I was saying that an evolution needs to take place, because
I think the PFF is. Look at the PFF one, Tidy.
Say it again.
I said, look at the PF. I mean, everyone I've seen. This is the first one I've actually seen that didn't say that, but I'm pretty sure any other one you find will talk about the touch.
Hold on, let me find another one. Go ahead, John. I'm gonna find another one.
Now, production consistency plummet when forced to throw outside the pocket. That's the one that I was kind of concerned with because of our offensive line. Now, last year it wasn't a problem. Because like you guys said, he was throwing it in the pocket. But like I said, I believe the game plan today was to shut down the run and force the quarterback to win the game. And when you get in a situation like that, it's going to be relying upon the quarterback because they're just going to pack the line of scrimmage and try to stop it. Now, in Coach, you and James' discussion, whenever I hear that a quarterback doesn't have touch, I think about Doug Williams and I think about John Elway, especially John Elway. John Elway, they used to say, would put a cross in your hand. You know where that cross coming from? The tip of that football. And I mean, they said they didn't care where it was he was throwing. He was putting it on. So the touch, I agree with you, Coach, about the touch part. I agree with you about that. However, hearing that, I said, man, look, if it's hitting you dead in the doggone hand, if it's hitting you dead in the hand, because I just watched Bijan. You remember that pass that Bijan fumbled and didn't catch? That Penix had thrown to him in front of him on the left side.
Yeah, I complained about that earlier.
Yeah, I just saw that one, and people will say, well, he was trying to look to see where he was going first before he secured the ball. Okay, but this thing bounced right off his hand. It bounced right off his hand, and I put a wide receiver right in front of that jugs machine, right just as far as I am from this camera right here, and you're going to be catching this all day. I'm cranking it up to 100.
Yeah.
I'm cranking it up to 100 because the quarterback cannot make the perfect throw all the time with touch or whatever. And see, when I'm saying that, I'm thinking I'm being a little bit hypocritical because, see, I demand that from quarterback. I kind of do. But, I mean, it's not in this particular instance, from what I saw today and what's going on with our quarterback core, as long as you can complete a pass and get that to those wide receivers, man, that's what you need to do. And I saw a lot of bobbled balls today. That set me on edge because, I mean, that touchdown that they didn't have an angle for Drake London. Now, see, I'm talking about the officials now. I'm trying the officials or Fox Sports. How in the world y'all didn't have an angle for that doggone touchdown? Y'all was constantly showing it from the back, and I thought I saw a cameraman on the other side. I mean, oh man, I don't know. Man, I'm just frustrated. I can't even get my words right, man. This one today was just frustrating beyond description.
Hey, real quick, check out the message. All I did was type in scouting report and before pick the first two, Bleacher and PFF.
Okay, you sent a message.
Yeah, I got it.
Okay. Let's see, Bleacher report.
I'm pulling it up now. All right, so we're gonna look at the Bleacher reports now. How that look out? I need to blow it up.
Yeah.
Hold on just a second. What about now? That better?
That's perfect. But literally, look at that. You ain't even got to move it, bro. It's right there. That very first sentence, and again, it shows up time and time again. I'm not saying the man not good. All I'm saying is he played good today. But touch clearly is still an issue for him. That's literally all I'm saying.
What I'm saying, coach, is I'm not negating the fact of what you're saying. All I'm saying is look at the whole totality of the game instead of looking at one of the weaknesses to try to point out, try to direct something. Because for the simple fact it is, even though he has that one particular reason, that one particular weakness, but he still has other strengths that outshines him in the totality, bro. A player, but
Because of this, man.
listen to him, coach. The thing is, on what I'm saying is, look at the whole totality of a player, bro. They always gonna have weaknesses that they're gonna have to work on, big dog. But the whole while is he has certain things within him that makes him. They're gonna make him a great player. I'm putting a title on this. Well, I did put the title on the head. That's the main. He is the man to me because in those situations, you got to look at the situational points of a quarterback to see how they're going to act within that situation. And within those situations that he's been doing from those 3 games to now, within this one game, bro, he's been clutch. It's something within him that just doesn't bother him. He's always calm. That's signs of a great quarterback that goes into display, big dog. I'm not negating your fact. I never negated your fact. But the thing is, you got to look at other things instead of trying to harp on that one little thing you've been harping on for the longest, bro. I'm just trying to open your eyes to certain things. That's it.
But James, you're missing what I'm saying, brother. Please hear me. Please hear me. And again, I apologize because there's music in the background in the airport. Okay, what I am saying, brother, is that is still clearly an issue. Literally, it cost us a game last year, brother. That's all I'm saying. That
It was other
you need
factors in that game. That I know what game you're talking
no,
about.
I'm not
It
trying
was
to
other
hear that.
factors in that game
I'm not
that
trying to
cost us
hear
that
that.
game. Yes, it was,
No,
bro. You
you can't.
cannot say that, bro. You
Well,
cannot say that. If you talking about the Commanders game, bro. If you talking
correct,
about the
correct.
Commanders game, bro. It was other factors in that game that cost us that game, bro. He did his job, even though that touchdown was a critical, but other criticals as well. He did great to put us in a position to win. You cannot give me that, bro. You
Okay,
cannot give me
so
that one thing, bro.
the coup
Bro, I'm
lost
not
lose us
hearing
the
that.
game today?
How?
Did coup lose us the game today?
Hell yeah, he did.
So how is it that Cool's one critical play lost us the game, but Penix didn't? Come on,
Because
man.
for
Make it
the
make sense,
because for the
brother.
simple fact it is in this game right here, he put us in a position to go into overtime, bro. The defense
Hey,
messed up
Tidy,
in there. The
put that other
defense messed.
article up.
Oh, oh,
The
all
first one?
right. Yeah. So
Yeah.
in that
No, no,
game
no,
right
no.
here, bro.
Excuse me, Jane, just 1 second. There were
Yeah, I
two
got
two
you.
articles, that coach put up. Is this what is this, NFL.com or what?
One is Bleacher Report and one is PFF. I just grabbed the first two. I knew what Bleacher Report said. I'm not quite sure what PFF says, but I'm pretty sure it's just the same thing. It's just
Okay,
everything I've
go
ever
ahead,
read.
Jane.
Is the same thing.
Hold on, I'll put it
But
up. Go ahead.
the thing is, and what I'm saying is, bro, he put us in a position to go in overtime. He put us in a position to win the game, even though we gave up that touchdown in the end. You're not saying that, is you? You're not saying that, is you?
Okay, so
But
so
that was a critical portion in the game when Mike Hughes gave up that touchdown to Emeka. That was a critical point.
okay, but
He
so
did his job today, bro. And you talking about a touch pass?
how much,
You
bro?
and you talking about a touch pass, bro? That
Yeah,
was a part of it. A
yeah.
quarterback gonna miss a pass one way or another. A quarterback is not gonna be perfect in no dang on game, bro. You can miss me with that. And what he did today, he did his job at the end of the day, bro. He put us in a position to win that game, and then he went back down the field, bro. He went back down the field and put us in a position to go into overtime.
See,
Who was a critical miss? Who been missing? You can't negate Cool because for the simple fact it is he's been doing this shit for over 2 years now.
bruh, this is what is so crazy to me. Yeah, is the fact that I can't speak a actual fact. Okay, great, he played good. My only thing that I said was the man still has an issue with touch passes. That's literally all I said. Going on this long rant about everybody got.
Because it's other ass points though. You can't not negate it. You can negate one thing, but without negating the other. You can't negate other aspects of the game, coach.
And that will translate to wins and losses in the game. Whether you wanna,
How was that, coach?
accountable or not, I hold him accountable for that loss in Washington. Because if he had made the easy 5-yard, 10-yard pass, there would have been no need for a timeout. There would have been no need for nothing because we would have went straight and kicked the field goal. You see what I'm saying? Like that is a direct correlation on the events that followed. You missing an easy, wide open, high school eligible pass. And that is a problem for me. And it's always going to be a problem for me.
I see that because you only harp on one thing when you don't look at the whole aspect of the game because he went back down that field and put that touchdown in with Kyle Pitts, remember? That was the next drive. So
that was the last drive.
But with the last drive, but he still did his job at the end of the day in that same similar portion, which you going into harping into my point, to put us in a position to win and go into overtime, bro. It's gonna happen, bro. It's gonna happen, bro.
Let me let somebody else. Am I tripping, or is it okay to say an issue is an issue, especially if if you believe it directly cost us a game? Because what are your thoughts on? I know it's the last year and it really don't matter, but in the context of what we're talking about, an issue translated possibly to this year, do you feel that's valid? Anybody? John? Toddy? Anybody?
We did. I know that we were definitely talked about the fact that Penix's touch was an issue, but like I just said, that hits a nerve with me because nobody ever said anything about Elway when he was killing folk and breaking people's fingers off, flinging the ball as hard as he was all the time. Now,
but
yes. Wait, hold on, coach. Let me finish. One thing I will say about touch, you do need touch on passes. You definitely do. You definitely need touch on passes, because you can't throw fastballs all the time. That's a lot of time. That's what Jeff George's problem was. You throwing fastballs all over the place. And Manning last week in college, those fastballs he was throwing, man right beside him, he was throwing it so fast that he threw it past the man instead of throwing it to the man. Yes, that can be an issue. But and like I said earlier, I'm kind of torn because everybody needs to work on everything. There are going to be things that a quarterback needs to work on. And I'm looking at this. Is that Bleacher Report title that you got up here right now?
No, that's PFL.
Oh, okay. Now it's saying accuracy is still a concern. Penix recorded a 22.9% uncatchable inaccurate pass rate in 2023, tied for the highest mark among draft-eligible quarterbacks.
Yeah, that's also talking about touch. It's uncatchable. He's just flinging it at him.
Okay. That may not be touch either, coach. That might be just a bad pass that you put a rainbow on it, and it was a bad rainbow pass. It said uncatchable inaccurate pass rate. So it's going to be a combination. It's going to be a mixture of lasers as well as bombs.
Right. So what do you think, Todd? Like, do you think it's not valid?
No. Well, I'm not saying it's not valid. No, I'm not going
No,
to say
no, I
that.
was asking Toddy, what's his
Oh,
thoughts? Because me and James, we clearly we've been fighting this fight for a year now, and it just ain't gonna get fixed. But do you think an issue that has always been an issue that, in my opinion, directly cost us a game, and there was an issue in this game? Do you think that's valid to bring up?
was he inaccurate? Wait a minute. Was he inaccurate this game?
No. He missed some touch passes this game. But that's what I'm saying. He played a good game, but he missed some touch passes to the point that the announcers on TV even brought it up. And that was an issue last year. This is my whole point. That it was touch pass issues in this game. The people on TV talking about it, and that is a direct correlation to, in my opinion, us losing the game last year. So if it was an issue last year that cost us a game, and it was an issue in this game to the point where they had to speak on it, is it valid to say that, hey, this could be an issue, even though he did play good today?
I tell you what, my bad, John. Let's since Red just coming in, let's get a fresh voice on this topic, Red, because I'm about to shut it down here pretty soon. So, Red, what's your thoughts on Coach's question and this conversation we've had here the last 10 minutes or so?
I'm leaning more toward James and John's opinion. I mean, I'm not saying Coach is not entitled to his opinion. And I'm not saying Coach doesn't have a reason to bring entitled to bring it up, but it's nothing to keep hopping on. You know what I'm saying? When you see what Penix brings to the table, the man's intangibles, his accuracy on pretty much the other throws, except for the flat throws, the throws he have in the flat, the ones he need to put a little bit more touch on. It's just a weak point. I wouldn't keep bringing it up because that's definitely not the reason we lost. Not the reason we lost the Washington game last year. Is not the reason we lost this game this year. Like James said, that man put us in position twice to win this game. This game should have been won, and it should have been won basically because of what the quarterback did in the clutch, in the fourth quarter. Because the second and third quarter was flat. The first quarter started off good. But even the last half of the first quarter was flat. So, but his performance in the fourth quarter is, like you said, tighter. When London went down, when his big play guy went down, I mean, you got to give it up to the kid. The kid is out there making plays. Players make plays. Penix making plays. We got us a guy at the position. Yeah, coach. Every single throw, the man throw 42 times in the game. Every single throw ain't gonna be that precise, that sharp, that accurate, but the majority of his throws are where they need to be. Like I say, the man to me just looks like a winner. I mean, we've had a chance to win every game he's played. The kicker, who really, that should be it for him. I mean, Raheem is a fool. Keep putting that guy in a position to lose this game. I don't think he need to be with us any longer. If they cut him tomorrow, I'd be happy. We signed the foreign guy for a reason. Why we didn't go ahead and make the change, I have no idea. But if you don't think a change needs to be made now, you're absolutely fooling yourself.
Hey Ray, let me just ask you a quick question because I know Toddy said he's about to shut it down. You just had a sort of electrical fire issue in your house, right? Right, Ray?
Yeah.
Okay. That told you something was wrong with your wiring in your house, right? Now, if you don't fix that situation and your house burned down because of it, would you say, "Damn, I wish I had fixed it when I knew that there was an issue"? You would say that, right?
Can we use another analogy? I mean,
No.
God,
Answer the question. You would say, damn, why didn't I fix that? Right?
Confusing
I
an
would say
analogy. That's a
nothing.
personal issue, bro.
That's
He
what
may
I'm
not
saying.
want
This
that out
guy.
there. He may
I
not
mean,
want that
damn.
out there, bro.
If my sister got raped or I got robbed or carjacked, you gonna bring that up too? What the fuck, man? That's some bullshit right there.
My bad.
Get out
I
of
mean,
here,
I didn't
man.
know that was a personal issue,
Man,
brother.
get out
My
of here,
bad.
dude.
I
That's
didn't know that was
bullshit,
a personal
man.
issue.
It's
All right, y'all.
dude. What the fuck would somebody want to be talking to? Man, get out of here. I'm done.
All right, we're gonna shut it down on that note, man. I'll try to come back on tomorrow if nobody else is coming on tomorrow. Anybody planning I'm coming? If not, I'll try to come on.
No, we'll be on Tuesday at 9.
Okay, so I'll try to come through tomorrow. But we're gonna skate out here, man. Like I said, I'll try to come on tomorrow, man. Before I check out here, I want to thank John for coming up, Coach for coming up, James for coming up, Red for coming up. Yo, we will try to come back tomorrow because this is definitely a issue. Well, I won't say issue, but this is definitely a good debate that we'll continue to talk about. Fellas, y'all have a good night. We out here. Peace.
Bye-bye.